You walk with chains you never chose, shackled by voices that were never your own. They wrap around your wrists, your ankles, your mind, cold, unrelenting, heavy with the weight of every whispered doubt, every sneer of disapproval, every time someone looked at you and saw less than. You never asked for these chains, but somehow they became yours. They became part of your shadow, dragging behind you wherever you go, tightening their grip every time you dared to dream beyond the small, suffocating world they built for you. You feel them, don't you? The weight of 1,000 criticisms you absorbed like poison, the silent echoes of every time you second-guessed yourself. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Who do you think you are? Words that came from their mouths, but settled into your bone. They told you to be realistic. They told you to be quiet. They told you that success was reserved for someone else, someone more talented, someone luckier, someone born into a different life. And so you hesitated, you shrank, you let the chains tighten, mistaking their grip for reality. But reality was never yours, it was theirs. They forged the limits, and you believed them. You believed the lie that failure defined you. You believed that your past mistakes were prophecies, not lessons. Every time you stumbled, every time you fell, you heard the laughter in your head, their laughter, the cruel reminder that they were right all along. And so you stopped running, you stopped fighting, you settled into the prison they built with their word, mistaking the bars for the horizon. Look around. How much time has been stolen? How many days, months, years have slipped through your fingers while you sat in the shadows, waiting for permission to be something more? How many dreams did you bury before they had a chance to breathe? The fear, the doubt, the hesitation. It has cost you more than you can count. And for what? To keep them comfortable, to stay small so they don't feel threatened by your fire, to avoid the sting of failure while guaranteeing the slow, suffocating pain of regret. Doubt is a prison, but you hold the key. They never told you that, did they? They made you believe that the walls were made of steel when, in truth, they were made of paper, thin illusions that crumple the moment you decide to push through. The only thing holding you back is the belief that you are trapped. The only thing keeping you from the life you were meant to live is the voice in your head telling you that you can't. But that voice was never yours to begin with. You are not the chains. You are not the fear. You are not the mistakes, the failures, the doubts that cling to you like shadows. You are something greater, something wilder, something they never saw coming. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly understand that the door was never locked, oh, that's the moment everything changed. Because they thought they could hold you back. They thought the weight of their doubt would be enough to keep you down. But they were wrong. You are not here to be caged. You are not here to be tame. You were never meant to live small, silent, afraid. Number, you were born to rise. You were born to break free. And once you do, once you let the chains fall away and step into your power, there will be no force strong enough to contain you. So tell me, will you sit in this prison another day? Will you let their voices dictate your fate? Or will you stand up, take the key that was in your hand all along, and walk out of the darkness they tried to keep you in? The choice is yours. But know this, the moment you take that step, the world will never be the same. Because you were never meant to be held back. You were meant to take flight. They said you couldn't. They said you wouldn't. They said you never will. The words came early, didn't they? Before you even had a chance to define yourself. The world was already writing your story in ink you never chose. Maybe it started with a dismissive laugh when you shared a dream too big for their small minds' grasp. Maybe it was a harsh critique, disguised as advice, telling you to be realistic, as if realism was just another word for surrender. Or maybe it wasn't words at all. Maybe it was the silence, the way they looked past you, the way they never believed enough to even say your name with pride. You learned young that people love to draw borders around potential, that they take one look at you and decide, before you've even begun, how far you're allowed to go. They plant their limitations like seeds in your mind, watering them with doubt, watching as they take root and twist into something that chokes the fire in your chest. And you trusted them. You believed them when they told you the world was dangerous, that success was only for the chosen few, that people like you, people from where you came from, with the life you've lived, don't get to break the mold. They said you couldn't. They said you wouldn't. They said you never will. At first you fought it. You pushed against their words like a storm against a cage, desperate to prove them wrong. But the thing about repetition, if you hear a lie enough times, it starts to sound like truth. If they tell you you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not enough, eventually you stop arguing. You start whispering their words in your own voice. And that's the most dangerous part, isn't it? Because once their words become your own, once their doubt becomes your inner monologue, they no longer have to hold you back. You'll do it for them. You'll hesitate. You'll shrink. You'll look at your own reflection and see failure before you've even begun. How many times have you killed a dream before it even had a chance to breathe? How many times have you stood at the edge of possibility, heart pounding, hands trembling, only to step back because the voices in your head screamed, "Don't even try"? You've done it so often, you don't even need them anymore. They don't have to say it. You say it to yourself. But listen to me now. Just because they spoke doesn't mean they were right. Just because they gave you limits doesn't mean you have to obey them. Just because they told you it was impossible doesn't mean it is. They are not prophet. They are not God. They are just people drowning in their own fear, projecting their smallness onto you because they never had the courage to reach for something greater. You have a choice. You can keep playing the broken record of their doubt, or you can shatter it beneath the weight of your own belief. You can stay locked in their expectations, or you can rewrite the script, because the truth is, every great story begins with a no. Every legend, every warrior, every icon you admire, someone once looked them in the eye and told them they weren't good enough, and they had a choice, just like you. They could listen, or they could rise. So tell me, which will you choose? Will you carry their words like chain, dragging them with you for the rest of your life? Or will you drop them, leave them in the dust, and step forward into the future they swore you'd never have? Because they said you couldn't. They said you wouldn't. They said you never will. But they were wrong, and now it's time to show them. You know what it's like to be invisible, to walk into a room and feel like a shadow, present but unnoticed, existing but unrecognized. You've spent years fighting for a seat at a table that never had a chair for you. You've worked yourself to exhaustion, pushed past limits you didn't think you could survive, yet somehow no one seems to see. No applause, no acknowledgement, no validation. It burns, doesn't it? To put everything you have into something and receive nothing in return. To watch others, maybe even less deserving, be celebrated while you remain in the background. You've screamed in silence, waiting for someone to say, "I see you. I recognize your effort. You matter." But the words never come. The world moves forward, indifferent to your sacrifices, blind to your struggle. And with every moment you go unnoticed, a thought creeps in, dangerous and insidious. Maybe I don't matter at all. That's the trap. That's how they get you. They make you believe that your worth is something to be given, not something you already own. They condition you to chase validation like a starving dog chasing scraps, to measure yourself by their approval, their applause, their recognition. But what happens when the applause never comes? What happens when the people you've been waiting on keep walking past, too busy with their own lives to notice you standing there aching for acknowledgement? I'll tell you what happens. You break. You either shrink into nothingness, convinced you were never enough, or you learn the truth they never wanted you to know. You don't need them to see you. You need to see yourself, because their validation was never the prize. Their recognition was never the goal. It was a distraction, a mirage designed to keep you running in circles, begging for something that was never theirs to give in the first place. Your worth? It isn't defined by their opinion. It isn't measured by their applause. It doesn't grow when they praise you, and it doesn't diminish when they ignore you. You are not invisible. You are not small. You are not a shadow. You are a force waiting to be unleashed, and whether they see it or not does not change the fire inside you. Stop waiting for them to notice. Stop waiting for permission to shine. Let them overlook you. Let them underestimate you. Let them turn their backs, because one day they will regret it. One day they will wish they had seen you sooner, and on that day, you won't need their recognition anymore, because you'll have already built something greater than their approval. You'll have built yourself. Comfort is a bed of thorns disguised as a pillow. It cradles you, lulls you into a false sense of security, and whispers sweet lies in your ear. Stay here. Don't move. You're safe. And for a while, you believe it. You sink into the familiar, the predictable, the easy. The days blend into each other, smooth and unchallenged. No fear, no failure, no struggle. But one day you wake up, and something feels wrong. You shift, and suddenly, you feel the thorns pressing into your skin. The longer you stay, the deeper they sink. And then you realize this isn't comfort. This is stagnation. This is slow decay. This is a prison disguised as a refuge. You weren't always like this. Once you were hungry. Once you had fire in your vein, a restless energy that made you chase something bigger, something greater. But then you got comfortable. Maybe it was a steady job that paid just enough to keep you from reaching for more. Maybe it was a routine that felt safe but uninspiring. Maybe it was the fear of stepping into the unknown, so you told yourself that where you were was good enough. But is it? Is good enough really enough for you? Or is it just the excuse you've been using to avoid the discomfort of growth? Because growth hurts. It stretches you, pulls you in ways that make you want to retreat. But what's the alternative? Staying here, staying stuck. Look at your dream, the ones you've been putting off, the ones you told yourself you'd chase when the timing was better, when you were ready. When will that be? Another year? Another decade? Do you really think comfort will ever let you go willingly? Number, it will hold you here, feeding you just enough ease to keep you from running, but never enough to truly satisfy you. Because deep down, you know the truth. The life you desire is on the other side of discomfort. The version of you who achieves everything you dream of. They don't live here, in this bubble of predictability. They live in the fire, in the risk, in the leap. And if you want to meet them, you have to let go. You have to break free from the illusion that comfort is your friend. Because it isn't. It is the enemy of greatness. And if you're not careful, it will lull you into mediocrity until one day you wake up and realize you've slept through your own potential. So tell me, will you keep resting on a bed of thorns? Or will you rise, rip them out, and finally run toward the life you were meant for? The mirror doesn't lie. You see it, don't you? The fire in your eyes has been dying. There was a time when you burned with possibility, when your dreams didn't feel like distant ghosts, but living, breathing things that pulsed inside of you. But now when you look at yourself, something is missing. The spark has dimmed. The weight of wasted days, of dreams left unattended, has settled into your bone, and it hurts. God, it hurts, because you know you were meant for more than this. You can feel it like an itch under your skin, a scream caught in your throat. The realization is a punch to the gut. I have been playing small. I have been betraying myself. I've been waiting for a moment that will never come, unless I create it. This is it. This is your breaking point. Maybe it happens in a quiet moment, sitting in your car, staring at the steering wheel, wondering how you got here. Maybe it hits you in the middle of the night, when sleep won't come, and all you can hear is the voice inside you whispering, "This is not where you belong." Or maybe it's a sudden, violent realization, an explosion of frustration, an overwhelming urge to scream, to tear down everything that has kept you caged. Either way, it's here, and you can't ignore it anymore. You shouldn't ignore it anymore. Because this moment, this is your awakening. This is the fire reigniting. This is the part of your story where everything changes. Not because the world finally gave you permission, not because someone else opened a door for you, but because you decided you've had enough. Enough waiting, enough doubting, enough settling. The pain of wasted potential is unbearable, but do you know what's worse? Reaching the end of your life and realizing you never even tried. That is the regret that will haunt you. That is the ghost that will whisper, you could have been so much more. But it's not too late. It is never too late. The fire is still there, waiting for you to fan the flames. The dreams you buried, they are still yours to claim. But you have to move. You have to act. You have to take this moment, this pain, this frustration, this undeniable knowing, and turn it into momentum. Because if you don't, nothing changes. If you don't, you stay here, trapped in a cycle of hesitation, watching your own potential rot before your eyes. And that is not an option. So tell me, are you ready to finally, truly, fully step into the life that was meant for you? Because this moment, this is it. This is where you rise. The past is calling. The future is waiting. The present is your battlefield. You feel it, don't you? The war raging inside your mind. One voice whispers, stay where it's safe. The other roars, run toward what's yours. One hand grips the comfort of who you've been. The other reaches for the power of who you could become. And in between them, you stand at the crossroad, torn between the life you've known and the life that's calling your name. This is not just a decision. This is war, because the old you, the one who hesitated, the one who listened to doubt, the one who let fear dictate every move, that version of you doesn't want to die. It will fight with everything it has to keep you here, in the familiar, in the predictable. It will flood your mind with memories of failure, drown you in excuses, beg you to turn back. It knows exactly how to break you, because it is you. But the future you, the unstoppable, unbreakable force waiting on the other side of fear, that version of you is fighting too. It is clawing for life, for breath, for a chance to take its first steps. It is screaming at you to rise, to move, to finally become. And now, the choice is yours. Will you surrender to the past, letting old habits, old fears, old limits drag you back into the same cycle you swore you would escape? Or will you fight, really fight, for the life that's waiting for you? Make no mistake, this battle is not easy. You will wake up some days feeling like a fraud. You will hear the whispers of doubt, the echoes of every time you've fallen short. The past will reach for you like chain, trying to pull you back into the dark. But listen to me. The war for your life is fought inside your mind. And if you win here, if you push through, if you refuse to back down, the world will have no choice but to make room for the person you are becoming. So fight. Fight for your future. Fight for your power. Fight like hell. Because the version of you waiting on the other side is counting on you to break through. And you will. Because the past is calling. The future is waiting. But you decide who wins tonight. We bury the you that never believed. The you who hesitated. The you who made excuses. The you who shrank when the world tried to silence you. That version of you dies here tonight because they cannot walk where you're going. They were built from fear, from doubt, from the voices that told you no one too many times. And if you carry them forward, they will drag you back. This is the moment of reckoning, the breaking, the shedding of skin that no longer fit. And it hurts. God, it hurts. Because transformation is not gentle. It does not whisper. It roars. It does not politely ask. It demands. It pulls you apart, stretches you beyond comfort, forces you to watch as everything you thought you needed crumbles to dust. But this is necessary. This is the price of growth. You must die to who you were, to become who you're meant to be. The past will try to hold on. The habits that numbed you, the beliefs that caged you, the patterns that kept you small, they will scream for survival. They will seduce you with familiarity, beg you to return to the safety of what was. But you cannot. You will not. Because staying there, that is the true death, the slow suffocating decay of everything you could have been. So tonight, we let go. We let go of the excuses. We let go of the limits. We let go of the weight we were never meant to carry. And we stand in the wreckage, raw, exposed, reborn. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Because in the space where the old you dies, the real you can finally rise. No more waiting. No more watching. This is the moment you take control. For too long, you have stood on the sidelines of your own life, watching others move, build, rise, while you hesitated, while you second-guessed, while you convinced yourself that someday the right moment would come. But someday is a lie. The right moment is a myth. And the person you've been waiting for, they aren't coming. No one is going to hand you your dream. No one is going to open the door for you. No one is going to pull you from the pit and place you on solid ground. If you are waiting for a savior, stop. You must save yourself. This is the decision, the point where you either rise or stay exactly where you are. And make no mistake, this is not a soft choice. This is not a half-hearted commitment. This is a line in the sand, a declaration, a refusal to be a spectator in your own story. You have to choose power over pity, action over excuses, and it won't be easy. The pull of your old self, your old pattern, your old fears, it will be strong. The temptation to fall back into comfort, to tell yourself tomorrow, will be there, but you cannot afford to listen, because every second you delay, every excuse you make, every time you shrink back instead of stepping forward, you are choosing to stay in chains. But today is different, because today you decide that enough is enough. Today you stop waiting for permission, for clarity, for certainty. Today you move. You take the first step, no matter how small, and in that step, you plant the first seed of self-belief. Because belief isn't something that comes before action. It is something built through action. And with every move you make, with every fear you face, with every moment you refuse to surrender, that belief grows stronger. This is the moment, your moment. The world won't hand you your power. You have to take it. So tell me, are you ready to rise? Your soul is a wildfire waiting to burn through the lies. For too long, they told you who you were, too weak, too late, too broken, and for too long, you believed them. You let their voices bury your fire under layers of doubt, fear, hesitation. But fire cannot be destroyed, only smothered. And now, piece by piece, you are tearing away the weight that held you down. And something is happening. You feel it, don't you? That spark in your chest, the ember you thought had died. It's catching flame. It's rising. It's turning into something unstoppable. This is hunger. Real, raw, undeniable hunger. The kind that makes you refuse to stay small. The kind that makes you chase what's yours without apology. The kind that does not ask, does not beg. It takes, and the moment you step into it, something shifts. The hesitation is gone. The excuses burned to ash. You're no longer waiting to be chosen. You're no longer asking for permission. You are walking into your power, and for the first time, you see yourself, not as you were, but as you were meant to be. This is exhilaration. This is freedom, because the fire inside you was never gone, just buried. And now that it's awake, there is no force on this earth that can stop you. A sword must be beaten before it's sharp. You have awakened the fire. You have made the decision to rise. But now comes the part that separates the dreamers from the warriors, the grind. Because stepping into your power is not a single moment. It is a daily war, a relentless, unforgiving process that forges you into something unbreakable. This is where most people quit. They love the idea of success, but they despise the work. They want the rewards, but they refuse the discipline. But not you. Not anymore. You are here to train, to sharpen, to harden yourself into a force that cannot be stopped. And make no mistake, this will hurt. Growth is brutal. It demands sacrifice. It will strip you of your old comforts, force you to push past exhaustion, make you question if you're strong enough to keep going. But this is where you learn to love the struggle. Because every rep, every late night, every early morning, every moment of doubt you push through, it is making you into something unstoppable. The process is painful, but the process makes you unbreakable. So embrace it. The grind, the discipline, the daily fight. Because every time you show up, every time you refuse to quit, you are sharpening the blade of who you are becoming. And when the time comes to strike, you will cut through anything that stands in your way. They used to laugh at you. Now they watch in fear. Once they mocked your dreams, called you crazy, doubted your every move. They spoke with certainty. You will fail. You will break. You will never make it. But now they are silent. Now they watch from the shadows, trying to understand how you became something they can no longer touch. Because you did not crumble. You did not surrender. You walked through the fire, and instead of burning, you became. Now you walk among the wolves, the doubter, the critic, the ones who still hope you'll fall. But the fear in their eyes tells you everything. They know they can't stop you anymore. You are no longer the prey. You are the storm, and storms do not bow. Storms do not hesitate. Storms do not run. So let them whisper. Let them doubt. Let them watch and fear. Because you don't avoid the storm. You become the storm. Yesterday's nobody. Today's unstoppable. They thought you would break. They thought you would quit. They thought you would disappear into the background like so many before you. But today, something is different. Today, the first cracks appear in their certainty. Today you win. Not the war, not the final battle, but a victory that changes everything. Maybe it's the first deal closed. The first milestone hit. The first time you look in the mirror and believe in the person staring back. It doesn't matter how small it seems, because this is proof. Proof that you are capable. Proof that you are rising. Proof that the version of you they dismissed was never your final form. And now, there is no turning back. The taste of success is electric. It rewires something inside you. You no longer hope you can make it. You know you can. And that changes everything. Because when you know you are meant for more, you refuse to accept less. They thought you were finished. They were wrong. The same ones who doubted now ask how you did it. Once they ignored you, laughed at you, dismissed you. But now their eyes follow you when you walk into a room. Now they whisper your name in conversation. Now they study your every move, searching for the secret they swore you never had. Because they see it, the transformation, the power, the undeniable force you've become. And the irony? The same people who told you it was impossible are now asking for advice. The same ones who called you crazy are now calling you inspiring. But you don't waste time seeking validation. You don't slow down for their approval, because this is not about them. It never was. You stay humble. You stay relentless. You remember the nights you fought alone, the moments when no one believed in you but you. And you understand, this is only the beginning, because you didn't rise just to be noticed. You rose to take everything they said you couldn't have. A phoenix doesn't return to its ashes. You have risen, but something is still pulling at you. Familiar faces, familiar places, familiar habits, the ghosts of your old world trying to drag you back. But you are not the person you used to be, and that world, it no longer fits you. This is the hardest part. Cutting ties, walking away. Not because you hate them, but because you refuse to stay small for them. Some people will beg you to stay the same. Some will try to guilt you into shrinking. But you know the truth. You can't fly if you're still chained to the past. Success demands sacrifice. The cost of your next level is everything that no longer serves you. The comfort, the distraction, the relationships built on mediocrity. And when you finally let go, when you release the weight holding you down, something incredible happens. You rise higher than ever before. Your name becomes legend. Your story becomes fuel for others. You are no longer just a person. You are a force of nature, unstoppable, relentless, a walking testament to what happens when someone refuses to break. They used to doubt you. Now they study you. They used to mock your dreams. Now they chase their own because of you. Because this was never just about you. Your success, your transformation, your rise. It is a blueprint, a roadmap for everyone who has ever been underestimated, overlooked, counted out. When they see you, they see proof that the impossible is possible. And this is the moment you realize true power is not just in what you achieve, but in how your journey ignites others. You are no longer the one searching for inspiration. You are the inspiration. The world doesn't just watch you anymore. It follows your lead. They tried to break you. They failed. Now watch you soar. This is it. The moment you fought for, bled for, sacrificed for. The moment where you stand, unshaken, unbreakable, undeniable. Look back for a second, not in regret, but in recognition. See the battles you've won, the pain you've endured, the fire you walked through and emerged stronger. You have arrived, not by luck, not by chance, but because you refused to stay down, because every time the world counted you out, you counted yourself in. Because when the storm came, you didn't run, you became the storm. And now there is no force that can stop you, no voice that can shake you, no limit that can contain you. You are beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond every chain that once held you back. This is your time, your destiny, your rise. They tried to bury you. They didn't realize you were always a seed. Now stand tall, take flight, and never look back.